Joining me now, Nadine Smith, Executive Director of Equality Florida. It's the largest organization for LGBT civil rights in the state. Thank you for making the time. I'm sorry that it's under these circumstances.
Absolutely.
What do you feel when you see these crowds assembled around the country gathering to express solidarity and grief?
Well, the response has been amazing. We set up a GoFundMe for the victims and survivors, and within hours tens of thousands of people had contributed, and we've heard from all over the world. Vigils were held last night and tonight, and I think it really came home for us tonight at the vigil. The crowds, the messages, the people who flew in from all over, having Mother Emanuel Church's pastor here almost a year after the tragedy there. So you know, as
he came in for this.
Yes, she spoke.
Yeah.
She spoke at the rally, at the vigil, and you know, it was as diverse a crowd and as diverse a stage as can be imagined, and a real show of solidarity. So it has been. I said I sort of vacillate between sadness, anger, and but mostly tonight I feel pride.
How do you understand this? The targeting of this place. LGBT folks in this country they've been marginalized. They've been the victims of violence. Trans folks in particular to this day are the victims of tremendous violence and brutality. How do you understand this in that context?
Well, you know, I think that, you know, you mentioned the transgender community. I think at least a dozen transgender people have been murdered just this year. So violence isn't new to our community. The scale of this violence is horrifying, and you know, we talk about the culture war, and you know, it's not metaphorical. You know, the Liberty Council, which is situated right in this area, their president sent out a Twitter suggesting that people carry a gun into the bathroom in case a transgender person is in the bathroom. So I think, you know, to me, there has to be something wrong with any human being capable of doing this to anyone. But whatever twisted part of his psyche was nourished by a sort of constant stream of dehumanizing messages about who LGBT people are, and we've got to pull that up by the root.
I want to ask you this question. I don't want to ask it in any way that seems exculpatory of the sheer malevolence that happened, or in any way even explanatory, but we've gotten all these reports that he was a regular at Pulse. The Palm Beach Post reporting that a former classmate thought he was gay. What do you do with that information when you hear that?
You know, we grew up in a culture, I know for me, from a very young age, I got the message that gay people should not exist. And if we exist, we should hide. And if we don't hide successfully, if harm comes to us, it's our own fault. And you get those messages whether you're straight and externalize them, or gay and internalize them. And so, you know, I'm not going to speculate on who he is or what motivated him, but it was a deep hatred. Whether it was a hatred pointed only outward at the LGBT community, or if some of it was pointed inward, it's still a hate that is fed by an attitude toward LGBT people that says we should not exist, and what harm comes to us is our own fault.
Where do you think, I was talking to someone today earlier, we're going to play the interview, talking about this moment in LGBT life in America, that Sherrod Brown talked to me about celebrating Obergefell, about this Titanic victory that came, in some ways, it was a long time coming, but also seemed to come faster than people thought in some ways.
Yeah, I think the LGBT movement is sort of like the singer that plays all the honky-tonks and nobody knows until they get that one hit.
Right.
I mean, these are victories that have been built over years and years and years, but I do think that we're also, it's the best of times and worst of times. We are experiencing this breakthrough with marriage equality, with other victories. Also seeing the very vitriolic concentration of animosity because of those victories. So we're experiencing a very ugly backlash, and people feeling they have license to say and do anything in the wake of that, to ignore the law, to ignore the basic dignity and humanity of our community. And I think all of that is what we have to get to. And if you when politicians say you don't deserve the same protections as everybody else, and the law shouldn't recognize your family in the same way, what you're saying is you're not quite as human as everybody else. And once you dehumanize people, you remove that social contract that says we're supposed to look out for each other.
People here seem to be reaffirming that in a sort of beautiful way right now.
It is absolutely magnificent, and I hope people see the outpouring, the love, and listening to the names literally reverberate against the buildings in downtown, and everyone holding up those candles. It was a healing moment. Much more healing to do and much more work to do, but we hope people will go to equalityflorida.org and contribute to the survivors and to the families of those who have been lost.
We'll put that up on our website. I'll tweet that out. Thank you very much for making the time tonight. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.